just got another update for you on our beautiful new earth and the creation that it's going to be. Sitting outside in my garden, it's got a bit overcast and grady, so I hope it's not going to rain. So we've got some updates and where we're at with New Earth, how far we have come. It's really interesting to see just how much work we have been doing and evidence of the activations we've been doing all year to how that's been part of the creation of New Earth, this new diamond structure, which is so exciting. It's a major part of what we came here to do, especially as light workers, star seeds, angelic beings. We came here to create this time, and you know, it's been prophesied, it is in the Bible. They talk about the new earth, heaven on earth, and Revelations. But they do not have the rest of the books that continue after Revelations. The Catholic Church stole that. The Roman Catholic Church stole that and kept it in its vaults, which has, I believe, is now rescued and will be published for the world to see in coming years. And the history of how New Earth was even discussed back then, that we were going to go through some terrible rough times to get to this time where, you know, we are creating a new earth and we're creating a heaven on earth with Christ consciousness, God's consciousness. So we're going back to our true consciousness of soul connection, spirit connection with one with everything. And that's why it's taking so long. There's a lot of work to be done. The people that aren't waking up and, you know, still walking around with their heads glued to the news and the phones and so forth, they're not going to get it. It's a little bit too late. There are going to be severe reveals coming, but it's still not going to wake them. They always want evidence. They always want more to prove something to them. Because when you're brainwashed, excuse me, you need to have more evidence. You need more in front of you for you to register what's been said. And there's many of us that have been talking about these prophecies about what is happening with Earth, the whole movie of the illusion of the Matrix for so long now. And, you know, we have been so judged for it and criticized and belittled. And it's got to a point where the truth is going to come out and people are going to say, how did you know? I'm surprised how much you knew. A lot of people from my past forget that I've always had a very strong intuition. I've always been able to psychically read people, read events, read cards, read auras, read energy, and yet they don't trust what I'm saying to them, what I know is to be truth. Yet they're happy to get a reading from you when they want one and their life's gone tough, or they're happy to get some sort of advice from you. Yet as soon as you start talking about what's real in the world, they can't accept it because they're still too programmed. They're too down here, closed-minded, not prepared to look at the big picture. And, you know, people preach in church, people say, I've been talking to Jesus and I've been talking to God, and this is my version of what it means in the Bible. Well, isn't that channeling? Isn't that channeling Jesus? Isn't that channeling God? Well, we all do that. So what's the difference from a priest or a preacher to a light worker channeling? But of course, when a channeler does it and a light worker does it, and we're not involved in man-made religion, then it's wrong, it's evil, you know. And this is what we've had to put up with for so long. And that time is coming, people, where the reveals are going to help you become the truth speaker, the person that always knew. It's not a competition, but it's nice to be acknowledged finally. So we recently did a meditation and activation where we went and met our grandparents, our elderly advisors that have passed over. So if you look at it this way, if you have not got grandparents that have passed over, or you didn't have a connection with them, it'll be somebody that was in your life as a big influence, an elderly person who you looked up to, or a person that was connected to you along the line, maybe skipped a generation or whatsoever. But I knew I'd been making contact with my grandmother days before in the garden, speaking to her, connecting with her in the garden, because that was her thing, to be doing gardening. And so I was connecting with her very early on. I'm always connected to those loved ones anyway. A lot of them are working behind the scenes on my team. So the information I got from my grandmother, who was a psychic, I come from a very long line of well-known psychics, and she said to me that when I met her, we went into the garden of memories, and it was interesting because we've got an angel on our team. She's working with the angels and the angelic realms, and she's actually teaching other angels. And she's seen herself, and I've done channeling where they've seen her as a golden angel coming in to help people cross over. I've always known she was an angel. I saw her golden wings as soon as I saw her. Well, she confirmed the garden of memories. She said that's where you go when you're in your sleep state. It's 7th dimension, which I knew it was, but she confirmed that for me, which was really good to have. So we went there. And I sort of had questions already, sort of as an example, like how's your journey going so far in life? You know, what's your service to humanity looking like? How far are we into New Earth? What's the creation looking like from your side? What else do I need to know to help others? And first of all, my grandmother was adopted, and she was adopted in the early 1900s, and back then it was all hush hush, you know, you didn't know who your parents were. But she went through the Mormon church and found her mother and her father, or we thought suspected to be her father. The name of the father was not on the birth certificate, but her mother was. And her mother came from a very well-to-do family, and so did her father. He was a politician here in Wellington, and he was very prominent. And so two prominent people getting together who were already, I think he was married with children, it was hush-hush. It was all sealed and closed. And she thought she was born 1900, but it turned out she was born 1899, going by the records that the Mormon church held. So she found out she was a year older. But she was a very in tune psychic. She used to read palms. She read tea leaves. She understood crystals. She understood the elementals. She had an incredible intuition, and that's where it came from, my intuition, my psychic abilities. And I said, since you've crossed over, have you found out more about our English side of the family? And she said, yes, we came from upper class English, but we also had a line of poor English. So we've had both upper class and poor have come together and created that bloodline. I asked about where we're at on Earth, and she said everything takes longer on Earth, and to be able to trust, to understand the purpose of what is happening. She said over there where they are, it's kind of like, well, everything's instant. You manifest something and it's there. Everything is manifested very quickly. It's there. It's instant with love. But here on Earth, because we're in a dense frequency, she said everything takes longer. Believe me, it's looking from our side to your side, coming into your dimension. Everything's long. Everything takes a long, long time. And she said the biggest thing that you have to do while you're creating New Earth now, and we're waiting, is to be able to trust, to understand the purpose. Understand your purpose and understand your mission. I said, well, where are we at in the New Earth creation? And she said, believe it or not, all the work that you and your teams have been doing up till now, you're at 35% worldwide in the diamond. So we're creating the diamond, the New Earth diamond frequency. And as you've seen from my previous posts, the world's got to fit into a diamond. 35% of all the world is in that diamond already. 35%. Go light workers, go warriors. We've done 35% of the work. And she said, now you've done project work in the corporate world, you understand that things start slow. But 35% is a big move. You know, you think of in the greater span of the world, that's a lot to fit into the diamond already. 35% of some of the countries. And as a project starting slow, you start slow and you build up and you get to the middle where a lot of the work is done, and then you get the final stages at the end. However, you do have delays, remember, in projects, and you have to record those projects, and you have to record mistakes to learn from those mistakes. She said, you've got 75% to go and New Earth will be here. Well, we've got, since we did the ley line activations, in 3 months we've had hurricanes, we've had earthquakes, we've had eruptions. So you think we did the ley line North Main centre of diamond ley line on September the 25th. We've had hurricanes, we've had eruptions, and we've had earthquakes. So that's in like 1 month. And we've got 75% to go. In 6 months' time, most of Earth would have shifted. When you look at the scale of it, 75%, 35% is already fitted into the diamond after 2 or 3 months of activations, ley line activations, working on the diamond. So you've got 75% to go. By this time next year, New Earth would be created in the diamond. And a lot of my channelings are rollout of all things new, 25, so your banking system, reveals, collapse of everything, and then 26, by the end of 2026, we should be living abundantly in New Earth. So that fits in with what she's telling me with my channelings. And then she said this last 75% of New Earth being created and fitting into the diamond is going to go very fast. It's all going to take off very fast. She said, you know, like a project, you get into it and then it just takes off. Everything comes together. She said, all is in place and ready by activation. So we have to do the activations regularly to let this happen. And she said, all is in place and ready by activation. I asked her if, because she was psychic, and she did the tea leaves and she did the palms and she had that intuition about her. And she was very open-minded. I'm very much like her. She said, I asked her, was she a starseed? Was she a light worker? She said, yes, I was. She said, I'm a galactic being, hybrid, Palladian Syrian. So part Palladian, part Syrian. She had white hair. White hair. It was beautiful, amazing white hair, which is the Palladian trait. She said, your creative side comes from me. And so she was laughing. She was kind of saying, your psychic side, you're laughing about things that come through my creative drawing, my channeling and so forth, comes from me. And then my mum arrived and she piped up and she said, not necessarily. I'm a full-blooded Syrian, what she was. She had the mermaid, red hair, green eyes. She's stunning to look at as a young lady. She was beautiful. And I knew she was Syrian anyway because I got messages after she passed that she'd returned back to Sirius. And she was good with figures and maths, so the geeky Syrian from Syrian A, the geeks, the technology experts. She was in the day when you didn't even have calculators, and she had pages. She used to do all the bookkeeping and for my father's business, and she used to have pages of sums and figures, and she'd go in her head, and you see her adding it all up and adding the code and understanding code. So that was her serious A bit. Well, I get that from her because I was in the technology industry. Had she been around when computers were here, she would have been excellent. She would have been a great programmer. But she was also Serious B, like me, the creator side, the more water being side, where she was in tune with her art and her creativity. So that's where that comes from in me. This meditation is really good if you want to find out your roots. So I said, well, what shouldn't we do? What's stalling the creation of new earth? And my Nan said, do not want. Want is the root of all corruption and pain, learned by the mistakes of the past. So we wanted a lot in Atlantis. We wanted everything. We wanted everything in Egypt. We wanted everything in Lemuria, and that corruption came because corruption happens to fulfill want. And she said, only trust to be abundant. So this is coming from someone that's been on earth, has passed over, and has learned and looked back and realized the mistakes we've made. And she said, only trust abundance, live in the abundance frequency energy. Like you already have it, it's already there, you've manifested it. Because wanting something, and you hear the kids today, Mom, I want this, I want that, I want, is a terrible low energy that causes corruption and pain. So we've got to learn by that. She also said, I asked her about me. I said, what is it about me that you understand? She said, well, I'm very proud of you. I said, well, thank you. I said, that's nice. She said, the truth is going to come out for you light workers and starseeds. They're going to know and be amazed by what you know and what you've created. And she said, don't worry, your family's going to understand this one day. They're going to be in old earth and they're going to see something that you did or manifested or channeled, and they're going, how did she know? How did she know this stuff? They're all going to look at us and go, how did those people that have moved on into a new energy know all this stuff? They were right. And then my mum stepped in and she said yes, and she always used to say things like, bless you. Whenever you left her, she was very religious, true Christian. She always used to say, bless you, dear. Oh, bless you, dear. Hello, dear. Goodbye, dear. That's how she spoke. She said, I'm very proud of you too, dear. I knew it was her, dear. She said, you are the change. The change is coming for all. You're the one with the codes to do this. So she's talking not only about me, but she's talking about the light workers, the people that are here on a mission. She said, I know this because I birthed you. And that went really deep. And what she meant by that was the parents, the mums of the starseeds, the parents of the new earth children know the codes they're bringing in. They understand their mission. They know what they have to do. If you're a light worker or you have intuition of some level, you know what these new children that are arriving for new earth, the builders, we are the warriors that have gone before. They are the builders coming in. The mother will instinctively know because she's birthing you. And it was really strong, profound wording. It took me a while to realize what she was saying and how deep it goes, but it was incredible. In spirit, they're very light. There's a lot of light, a lot of white light, golden light with them. They look pure. They look so beautiful. So I said to my grandmother, my nan, I said, are you finished now? Are you coming back to Earth, or how's this looking for you? And she said, yes, I'll come back one day. I will come back one day. I've got another lifetime on Earth. And I thought, gosh, poor you. I can't wait to get back to my galactic being self. But yeah, that's what she said. She'll be back one day. She'll reincarnate and come back. So that's an update on New Earth. So we're at 35% at the moment. We've got 75%. Going by that, by end of 2026, we should be living in our New Earth. We should start seeing the results, guys. This business on the outside of us, hurricanes and all that, from now on, from since we started doing the ley line work, we were warned by the galactics that this is not man-made. This is New Earth creating herself into the diamond. And yet you're still getting people on social media going on about weather manipulation. That's all been switched off. You're getting people saying this is purposely done to ruin the land. Yes, they wanted to ruin the land so no one else could have it. But the Galactics stepped in and they said, we're going to fix this. Nobody's getting that lithium. Because it's want again, it's greed, it's pain. We don't want that in our New Earth. So they're making it so it's not possible for anybody, even in New Earth. Because it won't be used. The new technology won't need lithium. So you see, when you have a different view and you channel and you know what's going on, you have a different calmness about you, and you know your loved ones, people that are light workers here on a mission, are totally safe. I have no doubt everyone around me that's working in this vibration is safe. It's only the ones that are here that have signed up to do this as their soul contract to learn something by it that will suffer or go off. And this is, everything happens for a reason. And some people have signed up for that, and that's sad, but it happens. The other thing is Hurricane Milton is interesting. So in our live channeling session we did about a week ago, or was it 2 weeks ago, we were informed by the Galactic Federation of Earth, not light. The Federation of Light is dark, remember that. It's been infiltrated by darkness, and it's a psyop to give misinformation. I'm talking about the Federation of Earth, the light beings that are connected to our military, connected to our alliance, connected to all that is good for New Earth. So I channel Miley, and she told us 2 weeks ago that the new storms that you see, the hurricanes coming, are us working. She said they'll be named after the commanders of our ships. I said, okay. So she said the naming format's going to change. It won't be anything normal like Margaret and Peter or John and Sarah. She said it'll be named after our commanders. Well, I immediately got Commander Milton. So it's a commander that's been training as a cadet, and this is his first mission. And he's doing really well. He's keeping it so that not too much damage is done. The media are playing it up. Now they did I saw a mandatory evacuation recently, I think on social media, and I was like, oh, that's bullshit. That's not happening. That motorway, expressway of cars is old. It's like done, it's blurred, it's shocking photography. It's like 1980s. You can see the old cars. Again, we know the media do this. They did it during the pandemic of old footage in hospitals. So it's not happening as severe as they say it is. Again, it's history repeating itself. It's the same psyops or the same way they do things. When you notice a pattern, you know something's going on that's way above the intelligence of Earth. And that's what's happening here, and you've just got to trust and believe. They are helping to vacuum and clean the soils, the waterways, all the toxins and sprays and chemicals, and what has been done to this environment needs to be cleared so that our diamond is clean and clear for new Earth. What goes into that diamond is going to be cleared, clean, and free of anything that's dangerous to our health. And part of these hurricanes and eruptions and everything is all part of that diamond formation. Once you understand that, you feel a lot more calmer. So we had a big earthquake here the other morning at 5:08 a.m. and it was a 5.8. And I know immediately it was that north-south ley line running up to Iceland and running down to Antarctica. Of course they told us it was out in the channel. No, it wasn't. It was a full ley line. And it started off slow, like characters being pulled out of a station. And then it got bigger and faster and harder. And then it came to a final end and it jolted like that. And I could hear things rattling in my pantry. Scary, but it was exciting. I immediately messaged my best friend and said, New Earth is being created. Wow, that was a beauty. I haven't been in an earthquake like that in like 40 years. It was exciting, guys, but scary. I'm a little bit still a bit nervous about things on the earthquake front, and I just laid there in the dark and went, okay, new Earth is being created, I'm safe. What's going to happen out of this? And then later on, about 24 hours later, there was an earthquake in Iceland. And I went, there it is, there's that ley line. Iceland down to Antarctica. That's the main ley line that runs through the centre of Australia down to the bottom of Antarctica. And I went, there it is, confirmation. And they warned us after those activations. They said to us, the channeling we got was, it's got to be some big earthquakes. Well, 5.8. It was big. And then there was a little one yesterday, kind of like an aftershock, but I don't believe it is, because aftershocks are usually pretty straight after, not a day after. And it was a 3 point something, but I didn't feel it. It was a bit of a jolt. So that's the update of where we are with New Earth and how far we've come. So light workers, warriors of the light, pat yourselves on the back. We've done some great work here, and 35% of the world is already forming in that diamond. So we've done really well, and it's really exciting to see that happening. Moving forward, as I said, going by a lot of the channelings that we've been receiving and hearing, this time next year a lot will be rolled out. And then of course we've got 2026 is going to be a massive year. 25 is the year of change, and 26 is the year where we start to relive in a new frequency. So it's exciting, guys. Just continue with your work, keep your vibration high, your consciousness, stay away from news, stay away from TV, do as many workshops. There's lots of free workshops out at the moment. I've got three that I've signed up for. One I'm starting tonight, animal whispering, and talking to the animals and being able to connect with them and use your intuition and your psychic ability to connect with the animals, especially with New Earth coming. And then I've got two of them, one tonight and I think one next week, with some very famous whisperers. And then I've got a gardening, foraging one coming up for natural remedies, herbs in the garden, working with weeds, that kind of thing, which are not weeds, as we know, are very, very good. And that's coming up, and that's free. And the thing is, even if you don't turn up to these events and be there, you can download them and use them for educational purposes later. Why not? This is the true abundance energy exchange. It's free, and then you pass that energy on, you pass that knowledge on. So this is what we're going into, the abundance, not wanting. Alright guys, so that's probably me for today. I just wanted to give a quick update, give you a little understanding on where we're at. It's an exciting time, and it's a huge celebration how far we've come. And it's nice to see that it's being acknowledged on the other side. So really, really exciting, and to know that our service has been recognised, it's been seen, it's being heard. Anyway guys, do take care. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye for now.